It's never right.
Yeah.
Thank you and good evening. I'd like to call to order the October 11th, 2022 meeting of the Norwalk Common Council. If you'll please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Burnett,
Present.
Mr. Goldstein,
Here.
Ms. Johnson,
Present.
Ms. Najolski-Eichner,
Present.
Ms. Smith. Here. Ms. Ayers. Mr. Ugelman,
Present.
Ms. Revolus,
Present.
Ms. Young,
Here.
Mr. Kites,
Here.
Ms. McMurr, Ms. Alterman, Mr. Meek,
Here.
Mr. Livingston,
Here.
Ms. Shanahan,
Here.
Ms. Ayers,
Here.
Ms. Alterman, Ms. McMurr. 13, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 27th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Ms. Smith, okay, Ms. Smith made a motion. Any corrections, deletions, omissions? Ms. Smith,
Yes, I did notice a misspelling on page 3 in paragraphs 3, 4, and 7. Mr. Milligan's name is spelled incorrectly in several locations.
okay.
It says Mulligan instead of Milligan.
Any further corrections, deletions, omissions? Mr. Burnett,
Yes, just a minor correction on page 2. It indicates that the following corrections were made to page 5. Ms. Smith, I believe it was myself that made the correction.
okay. So noted. Any further corrections? I don't see anybody with their hand raised. Okay, so seeing,
I'm sorry, Mayor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Goldstein.
Page 3, at the bottom, and where it's the sentence that starts Mr. Chris Shimko. I think freeze is not supposed to be F-R-E-E-C-E. I think it's supposed to be F-R-E-E-S-E. I think I'm
Okay.
right about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Any further corrections? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm sorry, I was.
Ms. Ayers and Ms. Najolski-Eichner abstained, and Ms. Johnson abstains.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm doing an abstention. I'm trying to remember everything. I'm doing an abstention.
I am an approved mayor. Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Johnson approves and Ms. Revolus abstains. Is that correct?
Correct.
Hearing
Thank
no
you.
objection. Okay, minutes have been approved as corrected. Next item on the agenda is public participation. We have nobody in the audience. Mr. Manzi, do we have anybody wishing to address the council?
If anyone would like to address the council, please raise your hand electronically now. Thank you.
Okay, seeing nobody has raised their hand among the participants, we will now close public participation. Next item, resignations and appointments. There are no resignations. There are no appointments. Reappointment for David Yeager to Transit District. Do I have a motion? Ms. Smith,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to move the reappointment of David Yeager. Mr. Yeager has in his professional life, he is the Assistant Vice President and Financial Service Manager at People's United Bank. He is focused on business development and strategist. But here in Norwalk, we know him very well because of his service on the Common Council back in 2009 and to 2011. He's worked as a legislative aide for the Connecticut General Assembly. He has also been campaign coordinator for several of our campaigns here in Norwalk at the state and local level. And he's been involved in the Exchange Club, a member of the District A Democratic Committee, and has been a member of the DTC. And I would like to recommend his reappointment and thank him for continuing to serve.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously, and thank you to Mr. Yeager for his continued commitment to the Transit District. Next item on the agenda is mayor's comments or remarks. As you know, we had a water emergency declaration last Friday taking effect at noon. The city's been in close communications with the First District Water Department and the South Norwalk Electric and Water. And they've made it very clear that we are at a very critical level. We've had less rainfall this year than we've had in the past 43 years. And I believe we showed some photographs of what the reservoir looks like before and after, and it's rather frightening. So I've asked the citizens of Norwalk to please cooperate by doing certain things like not power washing your driveways and other outdoor surfaces, not washing your cars, use car washes that recycle their water. Plants that are less than 3 years old can be watered, but the plants that are for retail sale can be watered, and asking not to water your lawns. Trees that are less than 3 years old can be watered, but we're asking everybody to cooperate so we can get through this as quickly as possible. Next, this is National Hispanic Heritage Month. During the month, the city, along with the library, Norwalk Public Schools, and the community held several events to recognize and celebrate our Hispanic community, have contributed greatly to our economy and have become an integral part of our city. Also, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's critical that we bring awareness to the problem of domestic violence, not only in Norwalk, but around the state and elsewhere, and make sure that we do everything we can to help the Domestic Violence Crisis Center in their duties or in their responsibilities to helping people who are victims of domestic violence. Next, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Real men wear pink. I know I have a pink shirt on. Mr. Livingston has a pink tie. Mr. Burnett has pink on. Irene, you're close to pink. I think that's pink. But it's so critical that we bring awareness to these kinds of things, because there are steps that can be taken to prevent these kinds of things, prevent breast cancer. So we need to make sure that we keep talking about it, keep getting the tools and research and the money that we need to make sure that the people who are doing the research and who are bringing these awareness can do so and have some success. Last and not least, remind everybody that the community room tomorrow, Wednesday, October 12th, 6 p.m., the Charter Revision Commission is having their first public hearing. We encourage the community to attend and share their input to ensure Norwalk creates a new charter that reflects the public's ideas. We've hired a consultant to work with us who has done this many times in the past with great success. And looking at our charter, and I don't think it's a surprise to anybody here in the council, and probably not a surprise to many people out in the community, but our charter was very challenging to navigate, to find information in the charter and to make sense out of it. So we've taken the charter and we've organized it in some manner that it can be read in with like items, together with like items. And now we're looking for things that we need to change in the charter. So we're asking the public to come out. You can find the Zoom logon information and live YouTube link for the public hearing on our website. The commission has been tasked with reorganizing the charter to enhance transparency and make the document clearer for residents to comprehend. And that, Mr. President, is all I have, so I will turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will just add one thing to your comment about the Charter Revision Commission. Tomorrow night's public hearing is a mandated public hearing under state law, but it will not be the only opportunity for the public to speak and to voice their opinions. And we encourage everyone, even if they can't make it tomorrow night, to make sure their thoughts are known. There'll be regular meetings, I believe, twice a month for the commission. And so please let your voices be heard. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Goldstein for tonight's lengthy reading.
Well, as Council President Livingston suggested, I do actually have a water bottle because of how lengthy it is. But without further ado, here we go. 7A, Recreation, Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee. 1, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into a 3-year agreement with Atlas Pyrovision Entertainment Group, Inc. for the city fireworks display in an amount not to exceed $43,500 for 2023, $47,000 for 2024, $49,000 for 2025, $52,000 for 2026, extension parentheses, and $52,000 for 2027, extension. Account as noted. 1A, authorize the Director of Recreation Parks or his designee to approve the 2 one-year contract extensions as outlined above. Item 2, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Gibrelli Isuzu Truck in an amount not to exceed $78,676.64 for the sole source purchase of a 2023 NPR GAS HD Isuzu box truck from ARPA account as noted. 7B, Public Works Committee. Authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to CN Wood Enviro LLC for the purchase of 1 Pelican NP 3-wheel broom street sweeper for a sum not to exceed $275,345. Account is noted. 2, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order Total Fence LLC State Contract 18PSX0147 for the supply and installation of about 165 linear feet of Merritt Parkway guide rail on Aiken Street for a sum not to exceed $25,790. Account numbers as noted. 3A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with the NY Con Corporation for State Project 102364 West Avenue Traffic Signal System Upgrade FAP 1102124 for an amount not to exceed $870,914. Account number as noted. 3B, authorize the Director of Transportation, Mobility, and Parking to execute orders on contracts with the NY Con Corporation for State Project 102364 West Avenue Traffic Signal System Upgrade, PAP 1102-124 for an amount not to exceed $87,091. Account numbers is noted. 4, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Gibrelli Truck Sales of Milford for the purchase of 1 2023 Mack GR42F plow truck not to exceed $265,043. Account number noted. 5, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Gabrielli, my mistake, Truck Sales of Milford for the purchase of 1 2024 Mack GR42F plow truck not to exceed $290,801. Account numbers as noted. 6A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with AVD Excavators LLC for projects BR 2022-1, parentheses, Site 1 and Site 2, Bonnie Brook Road over Holy Ghost Fathers Brook, Site 1, and Cannon Street over Betts Pond Brook, Site 2, for a sum not to exceed $654,365. And no, this wasn't an error that we included Holy Ghost Fathers Brook in the month of October. 6B, authorize the interim chief of operations of Public Works to execute orders on the contract with AVT Excavators LLC for project BR 22-1, Site 1 and Site 2, Bonnie Brook Road over Holy Ghost Fathers Brook, Site 1, and Cannon Street over Betts Pond Brook, Site 2, for a sum not to exceed $65,436.50, and for 6A and 6B, account numbers as noted. 7A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a second amendment to the original September 8th, 2020 agreement between the city of Norwalk and M. Rondano, Inc. for project DRG 2020-1 on-call drainage improvements at various locations for a sum not to exceed $1,052,138.80. Account numbers noted. 7B, authorize the interim chief of operations and public works to execute orders on the contract with M. Rondano, Inc. for project DRG 2020-1 on-call drainage improvements for a sum not to exceed $105,213.78. Account numbers noted. 8, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a second amendment to the September 8th, 2020 agreement between the city of Norwalk and Anamon Kirby LLC for project number 4048 on-call surveying services for a sum not to exceed $150,000. Account numbers noted. 7C, Public Safety and General Government Committee. This is 7, right? Yeah. 1A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all agreement and documents necessary to apply for and accept grant funding under the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FY 2023 Highway Safety Project DRE Instructor Support Grant, not to exceed $34,000, account TBD. 1B, authorize the Chief of Police, Thomas Kohalik, to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments as may be necessary to implement the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FY 2023 Highway Safety Projects DRE Instructor Support Grant, not to exceed $34,000, count TBD. 2A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all agreements and documents necessary to apply for and accept grant funding under the State of Connecticut FY 2023 HARPA, HARPA Auto Theft and Violence Grant, not to exceed $35,000, account TBD. 2B, authorize the Chief of Police, Thomas Kohalik, to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments as may be necessary to implement the State of Connecticut FY 2023 ARPA. I'm assuming both of them are ARPA then, it's not HARPA on the other one. Auto Theft and Violence Grant not to exceed $35,000, account TBD. Is now 7D, Land Use and Building Management Committee. 2, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a third amendment to the management agreement between the city of Norwalk and Odyssey Learning, Inc. to provide early childhood programs in Nathan Ely Center to extend the terms of the agreement from June 27, 2022 to June 30th, 2024. 3, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a third amendment to the management agreement between the city of Norwalk and Growing Seeds 2 Child Development Center, LLC, to provide early childhood programs in the Benjamin Franklin Center to extend the term of the agreement from June 27, 2022 to June 30th, 2024. This is now 7E, Economic and Community Development. 1, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into an agreement with CDM Smith, Inc. for contract document modifications and construction administration services for the Hamilton Avenue pedestrian access enhancement project for an amount not to exceed $59,000. And with that, turn it back over.
Thank you, Mr. Goldstein. Very well done. Spoken like a litigator.
Thank you.
I'll call for a vote now on the consent calendar as read by Mr. Goldstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the consent calendar passes as read. And back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Now we move on to Public Works. Ms. Smith, item 7A, 9A, and 9B.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I may, I'd just like to note that Ms. Alterman joined us at 7:49.
Okay,
And I would like to move items 9 and 10 together. They are related.
Okay.
9A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with KS Corporation for project TMP 2022-3, furnishing and installing traffic signs, Connecticut Community Connective Grant, Connectivity Grant for an amount not to exceed $47,600, account noted. 9B, authorize the Director of Transportation, Mobility and Parking to execute orders on contract with KS Corporation for project TMP 2022-3, furnishing and installing traffic signs, Connecticut Community Connectivity Grant for an amount not to exceed $4,760, account noted. Item 10A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a First Amendment to this. Oh, maybe we do have to do these separately because it's First Amendment.
I'm sorry.
Maybe we do have to do these separately.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well,
Mr. Travers
it's
says-
just as easy, sure.
Okay.
9A and 9B, Ms. Smith has moved the items. Do you wish to comment on them, Ms. Smith?
Yes, if I may, Mr. Mayor, thank you. In 2018, the city was awarded a Connecticut Community Connectivity Grant project that's funded from the Connecticut Department of Transportation. And this is to create a continuous north, south, east, west bike route through the city. This is 100% funded, and it will provide installation of traffic signs to enhance bicycle safety and connectivity, and also pavement marking. My understanding is we're looking at something like 17.5 miles of road that will be covered and 226 signs. But we wanted to just take a moment to highlight this really great project that's been around for quite some time, and we're finally going to see its fruition. And so we have Jim Travers, our Director of Transportation, Mobility and Parking, and Mike Yosick here from the Engineering Department to talk a little bit about this.
Thank you, Councilperson Smith. So this is Jim Travers. We're really excited to move on this. We took this as an opportunity. So, as you had stated before, the city had the foresight to advance a grant under the community connectivity program to create some marked bike routes. And then when we joined the team, we worked with the team together to redefine those to get into dedicated bike lanes rather than shared road connections. The shared road symbols will be on when the roadway isn't wide enough to get us a dedicated bike lane yet. But we're really excited about this because it took a long time to do, but it should be noted that we had many conversations and meetings with CONDOT. When this is completed, this will be the largest marked bike route on any state road in a municipality. So we like to have the most or the first of here. So we'll gladly take the first of in doing this. But this is also, when we're completed, will nearly double the amount of cities' dedicated bike lanes in one project. And while we want to and strive to have dedicated bike lanes throughout the city, this one will actually put in some share lane markings as we look to maybe advance those at later stages. But right now, we are also working with neighboring communities on really how we can have a collaboration, understanding that you don't simply just ride your bike in Norwalk, that you ride it through things. So we are actually having conversations with other municipalities in Lower Fairfield County to advance this. But we're really excited to move forward on this. This will really be a visual reminder and a visual statement to people who see on our roads that we are a multimodal transportation hub in the city, and this really does not happen without the leadership of the city. So thank you to the mayor, and thank you to all of you who really stood by the creation of this and really sought that this was a priority for the city. And I hope that we continue to live up to your expectations and can deliver you some more bike lanes, better pedestrian connections, enhanced multimodal transportation options. So we're really excited to get started on this and have a groundbreaking very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Travers. Any further comment, Mr. Livingston?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that aside from this being a really terrific project, it does further the goals of the POCD. That was one of the most commented on requests and response from the residents when the city was doing the visiting project for the POCD to increase the walkability and bikeability in the city. So this is really consistent with the plan. And I thank you, Mr. Travers and Mr. Mayor, for pushing this through. It's been a long time coming, but well worth the wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Further
you.
comment or discussion? I'm not getting anybody here, so hold on. Here we go. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anybody on my screen. Are you?
Oh,
No.
you just hit your gallery on the left. Your
There we
gallery,
go.
that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, does anybody on Zoom have a comment? Any council person? Seeing none, okay. So all in favor of items 9A and 9B? Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
Ms. Revolus is abstaining. Other than that, the motion carries. Item 10A and 10B, Ms. Smith?
Item 10A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a First Amendment to the September 8, 2020 agreement between the City of Norwalk and Safety Markings, Inc. for project TMP 2020-2, proposed pavement marking symbols and legends at various locations for a sum not to exceed $71,494.50, account noted. And 10B, authorize the Director of Transportation, Mobility, and Parking to execute a First Amendment to the September 8, 2020 agreement between the City of Norwalk and Safety Markings, Inc. for project TMP 2020-2, proposed pavement marking symbols and legends at various locations for some not to exceed $7,149.45, accounts noted. And this is just the safety markings, pavement markings for the same project.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Smith has moved the item. Any comment or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of items 10A and 10B?
Approved. Yay.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Ms. Revolus said.
Ms. Revolus is abstaining. Okay. So the motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item D1 under land use, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Newfield Construction Group LLC to provide construction management services for the South Norwalk Elementary School project. Terms of the agreement shall include the following: A, pre-construction phase services for a total not to exceed $98,000. B, CM fee rate of 1.25%. That's percentage of total trade bids. C, projected general conditions fee of $1,989,552, and a CM contingency fee at 1.5%. That's percentage of the total trade bids. Following the bidding process, a guaranteed maximum price will be submitted to the Common Council for final approval. An account noted. And I just want to speak to that for 1 minute here. This is thank you. This is the next step in moving the construction of the new South Norwalk Elementary School project along. We acquired the property, we selected the architectural firm, and we have now selected a construction manager, being Newfield here. Newfield was selected through an RFQ process. We received 7 responses. We narrowed it down to, I believe it was 4, and we selected Newfield for having the lowest cost. They also have a lot of experience with the city. They have worked on Jefferson, Honus, now working on Cranberry, and they're very familiar with the way we do things in the city, and they'll be a big help, I think. And I just want to note that Alan Lowe is here to answer any questions you might have. And I will also say that it's Alan Lowe's birthday. So happy birthday, Alan.
Happy birthday, Alan. And we have you, working.
36. Oh, I'm sorry, 63. You know, there's a little dementia going on.
So Mr. Livingston has moved the item. We have Mr. Lowe here. Do we have any comments or any questions?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't, hold on a minute. Any questions from people on Zoom? Seeing no comments, no questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention.
That was Ms. Revolus.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Meek has voted no, and Ms. Revolus has abstained. Other than that, the motion carries. Thank you for that. Exciting time for a lot of things happening with the schools in Norwalk and other projects that are moving forward. A lot of hard work on the part of the council and our staff. I for one, truly appreciate it. Having said that, I don't think there's any other items to come before the council. Welcome back, Ms. Revolus.
Thank you.
Do
I
you have,
have an infant on me right now, but I will say motion to adjourn.
all right, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? We are adjourned at 8:02. Thank you.